Hello everyone and welcome to the Utrade Club presentation. This is Izzy. Happy to have everyone here listening or watching, and we're going to be going over the Utrade compensation plan, but also we're going to be going over Bitcoin and what it is and how it's created, how it's mined, and what gives Bitcoin its value. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start the presentation. Now, what is Bitcoin? Okay. It's basically a cryptocurrency, and it is a digital cryptocurrency that was invented by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009 as a solution to centralized and regulated digital currency. As we know, digital currency already exists. We use it all the time when we use our bank, our online banking system, our debit cards or credit cards. And Satoshi Nakamoto, just for those of you that don't know, is just a pseudonym. We don't know who it is or what they are. It might be a group, it might be a person. All we know is they published a white paper in 2009 showing this new technology in a way that you can actually more securely, in a decentralized way, transfer value, or if you will, from one person to another using the internet. Now, how are Bitcoins created? Okay, new Bitcoins are awarded by a process called Bitcoin mining, and it works a little something like this. You use specialized mining software that you can download off the internet for free to solve an algorithm, a very complicated algorithm. Now, this math problem takes a lot of computing power, and it takes a lot of time to solve. Every time this math problem is solved, the miner or miners are awarded the Bitcoin. And so think of it as mining for the digital age. Just like it takes time to mine gold, and it takes equipment, it does so here as well. Now, apart from solving this math problem, part of solving the math problem includes verifying all the transactions made when using Bitcoin. So the miners are also the ones that are going to verify that every transaction is legitimate. And the more people learn about Bitcoin mining and begin to mine because of that, the more difficult the math problem gets, and in turn require more computing power. So now you're listening to this presentation. Hey, you might take up an interest and say, hey, I want a Bitcoin mine, I want to mine some cryptocurrency. And that's exactly what ends up happening. And the more people get onto the network, the more secure it becomes, which is good for us using the network. But it also becomes more difficult to actually mine these coins. I'll give you an example of the difficulty rising from 2009 to now. In 2009, you could use a normal computer to mine over 20,000 Bitcoin a day, in theory, which in today's market would be roughly around $50 million a day. I say in theory because even though you had the computational power to do it, the algorithm or the software wouldn't allow you to mine that many Bitcoins with just one computer. Right now, you would need 135 specially built supercomputers worth thousands each to simply mine one Bitcoin a day, which is equal to roughly around $2,750 at the moment of making this video. There are also other costs like energy, internet, maintenance, and a location to run everything, of course. So it's not as easy as it may seem, but it is doable and it is possible. Now, what gives Bitcoins their value? Well, a good comparison is gold, which is why they consider Bitcoin digital gold. Hence, why all the pictures of Bitcoins resemble gold coins. A lot of the same principles that make gold valuable also apply to the Bitcoin technology. Some other examples are Bitcoins. They has a finite amount that will ever exist. We know this number. It's 21 million Bitcoins. Once we mine the 21 millionth Bitcoin, there will be no more Bitcoins coming into existence. There will be no more mining. The miners will now just be the ones that verify transactions, so they will still have a purpose. Just like gold, it also has a finite amount that will ever exist. If we had a machine that can actually scan the earth, and for gold, it would give us an actual number of how much gold exists on our planet. Secondly, it's expensive to mine and create. Bitcoin is expensive to mine and create, and so is gold. I think we all know that. It is also expensive to mine and create. Now, Bitcoins cannot be duplicated other than by mining new Bitcoins, as we've explained earlier. Gold can also not be duplicated other than by mining, and Bitcoin is scarce as well as gold. And of course, also the market, the buying and selling of Bitcoins, that's the real value. That's what really gives it its value. If someone's willing to pay $2,700 for a Bitcoin, then that's how much it's worth. It's just that simple. And as complicated as that may sound, I mean, money works the same way. If nobody believed in dollars tomorrow, then it would be worth nothing, right? Same thing. Now, some things that influence investors to purchase Bitcoins are the more people that they start using them and therefore buying and creating a demand on the market. So the more people learn about Bitcoins, the more people have to go buy them. Like you today listening to this recording, you might start, I recommend you do. Go YouTube Bitcoin, see what it is, see how it works, learn as much as you can. It's the new money. So get as educated as possible. And more than likely, you're going to go buy Bitcoin. Whether you join our platform or not, I recommend you buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin in itself is not our platform. We're just using Bitcoin to create a new banking industry, if you will. Now, when you do that, you create a new demand on the market. And this is all public knowledge. Anybody can see the amount of transactions that are occurring. And the more transactions that are publicly visible to everyone, the more investors tend to want to invest. If they go, in 2009 and they see that only 100 transactions are being conducted a day, that's not too interesting to them. Now they go and they see that over 1 million transactions are being conducted today, then that's when they're going to be more interested in investing. How is Bitcoin more of a benefit? Okay. In simple terms, it minimizes fees, it has no cost, virtually no cost, and it's easy and secure. Some of the main benefits of using Bitcoin are lower fees due to less expenses in running the infrastructure, no cost for storing them in safe and encrypted e-wallets, virtually no cost. Of course, there are minimal costs. That being said, this is the easiest, most secure way to transfer money right now. Even banks are converting to blockchain technology. Of course, they're still private companies, and that's the issue I have with banks. Now, some examples of some Bitcoin e-wallets are BitPay, Coinbase, and Zapple. And I use these examples because now it has been, when I started using Bitcoin back in 2011, I tried buying it. I got ripped off the internet because it was really hard to buy. You had to trust shady people. Now you can just go online and open up a Coinbase account the way you'd open up any other email account. And you can even get a Shift card and attach it to your Coinbase account. That's basically like a Visa debit card that in real time takes your Bitcoin, the value, and takes the worth, the value they are at that moment in time, and allows you to buy a coffee, to buy anything anywhere in the world. I'm in Mexico all the time dealing with our programmers, and when I'm over here, I use my Shift card everywhere, and it never has. Sometimes my regular Visa card will have issues or it won't go through, and I gotta call the bank. This is a global card, so it gives me no issues. I could use it anywhere in the world where Visa is accepted. So it's night and day. I mean, that has always been the issue with Bitcoin, is the ease of use. But now it's become so easy to use that's why it's blowing up. That's why it's growing so fast. Now, Netflix is a good comparison of the technology that we are dealing with today. Whoever brought you to this presentation, I mean, I would definitely thank them, because this is the future. We are dealing with exponential growth and with digital technologies. And a good example of that we are all familiar with is Netflix. Netflix is able to grow at an exponential rate because almost all of its subscribers are streaming subscribers. They are not limited to a physical product that has to be manufactured. If 65 million new customers wanted to join, they simply increased their servers to allow more downloads to occur. That's it. And similar with that, if you're part of our platform and you had 100,000 people wanting to join tomorrow, we could make that happen. Everything is digital. Everything is automated. We don't need to hire more people. We just expand our servers as well, and we just let it go. We let it happen, and that's the beauty of this business. The fun fact about Netflix, it was founded in 1997, which was not too long ago, and in the year 2000, it was offered to Blockbuster for $50 million. Blockbuster turned it down, as we all know, and we know what the fate of Blockbuster is. And the current net worth of Netflix is $26.2 billion. So that's just a little fun fact. Uber is another great example of a digital company that has grown exponentially due to its technology. Uber owns no cars. It has officially no drivers. I mean, drivers aren't employees of them necessarily. They just download the app and they are more like partners, right? So they can grow exponentially with no issues and no borders other than markets restricting them and saying they can't. But physically and literally they can. If they're not in any area, it's simply because that area doesn't want them there, but they could be there. Currently, it's worth $50 billion. It's bigger than Honda Motors, GM Motors, and it's one of the biggest companies in America, and all they own is an app. Just let that process for a second. Some of the Bitcoin some of the investors in Bitcoin right now are people that we're familiar with. Would be Donald Trump. He's got Trump Wallet Financial Group. Bill Gates, he's a Microsoft co-founder. I think we all know who Bill Gates is. Now you can YouTube him. Just YouTube Bill Gates Bitcoin, and you will see what he says about Bitcoin, which is, it's obvious. It's the money of the future. It's programmable money. It's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. And I don't know about you, but I kind of trust him when it comes to technology. Richard Branson is the founder, president, and CEO of the Virgin Group, including Virgin Airlines. You can actually purchase Virgin Airline tickets using Bitcoin. He was one of the first to actually allow that and to accept Bitcoin. And he's also somebody that is invested in it. Dave Carlson, he was one of the first Bitcoin miners to go large scale. What you see here is basically the Bitcoin mining facility, one of the mining facilities that he has. And basically, he's making around $13 million a day just mining Bitcoin right now. So not too shabby at all. I really like this picture because it kind of depicts what's going on with the value of the dollar versus the value of the Bitcoin. Bitcoin is stable because it does not depend on an economic system like other coins. And so what that means is that Bitcoin doesn't deal with inflation, right? It's not controlled by a private group like the Federal Reserve that can say what the interest is going to be, that can say basically how much money is going to be printed. It's all part of a mathematical software that already has a set of rules that no one can corrupt. Now, just to talk about this picture, I found it on the internet and I thought I had to share it because it's so true. In 1929, $20 bought you a lot of groceries. In 1960, it still bought you quite a bit. And in 2014, $20 had to become almost obsolete if you were going to want to use that to go shopping for your groceries. Now, on the flip side, in 2012, you couldn't really buy much with a Bitcoin. It still probably would buy you about as much as you can see here in the picture. In 2013, however, now we see the Bitcoin going up in value, and as you can see the pictures, it actually allows you to buy more stuff. In 2014, you can get a cart full of groceries, and in 2017 now, well, what could you buy with almost $3,000 worth of, groceries? I mean, probably a couple of those carts. So I don't know about you guys, but if I'm dealing in money and I'm storing my value somewhere, I want it to be growing. I don't want it to be going down. I'd rather deal with deflation versus inflation. So let me ask you this. If you could go back in time and tell yourself to invest in Netflix when it was only worth $50 million, or in Uber when it was just taking off, would you do it? Remember, there's no such thing as a missed opportunity. I can assure you someone will always take that opportunity. Now we're going to get into a little bit of it. We're going to go ahead and get into the compensation plans and what Utrade does, what Utrade's about. Think of Utrade. I mean, this is a new era, right? We're living in a wonderful time right now. Right now, we are living in a world of technology and digital technology. Just look around you. If Netflix and Uber aren't enough, just look around and ask yourself, what companies are blowing up? What companies are doing great? And they're all digital technologies. We are in the digital era. And therefore we now have the power to take the banking system into our hands and distribute our own wealth and manage our own wealth so that we're in control and not the banks. I mean, I don't have to bring up the 2008 fall of the bank collapse and how they had to get bailed out. It's like, bailed out of what? You're just supposed to be holding my money. What did you do with all my money? Well, that's just it. We don't know. And I don't know about you, but I like to know where my money is, how it's growing, what it's doing. And so think of Utrade as the new banking system for the people, by the people. And what we do with the money, or we invest it just like other banks invest money that if you put a money in a CD or into a basically a savings account. What they do is they take your money, they promise you a certain amount of return no matter what for letting them use your money, and they invest it. Some of the things we invest in it's actually very simple. We have expert traders with more than 8 years of experience and some of the best informatic algorithms that trade between multiple platforms, buying and selling 24/7. So it's nonstop. This market doesn't close. It's 24/7 by 365 nonstop. We trade the best cryptocurrencies on the market. We have a software that actually allows us to check in real time what are the best coins to mine, and we're able to switch the mining software to those cryptocurrencies so that we could maximize the benefits every second of every day. Trading is really that simple. You buy low and then you sell when it goes up, you know. Here's a good example, or a simple example. Let's just say, using an example of 1,000 coins, let's just say we bought BTC when it was $989, and then we sell it as soon as it goes up to $1,110. In this example, we would have 121,000 in profit. So that's just an example of one of the things we do. The other thing that we do is Utrade Club is building one of the largest cryptocurrency mining platforms. This giant supercomputer group will mine the most lucrative cryptocurrencies in real time. Thanks to current technology, we're capable of using the internet data to follow different cryptocurrencies and determine which ones are more profitable. That is how we are capable of having the greatest benefits independently of any collapse, because we mine many cryptocurrencies. So it would be pretty difficult to get a daily profit if you were only dealing with one cryptocurrency, because maybe that day it went down, it didn't go up, right? What we do is we actually take the data. We use technology as our friend, as our ally, and we basically do the research of what are the best coins to mine, and those are the ones we go after. Since it's all digital, we can easily convert to different platforms of mining. Let's go over the investment plans. The investment plans we have quite a few of them. We're gonna focus right now on the Gold Z. The Gold Z is our most popular. It has daily earnings of $4 to $12. Again, think of it as a new age of banking, right? And think of this as as an investment into a savings account, into a CD, with much more better returns, of course, because you're dealing with Bitcoin. Now, give it an example of Gold Z right here. If you invested 1 Bitcoin, now before I mention dollars, it's important to understand that is just a reference. We deal only in Bitcoin. We do not deal in dollars. We deal in Bitcoin, but this is a reference to the amount, so as not to put 0.0012356, which is what I would have to put if I was gonna put it in Bitcoin. To keep it simple, we have a representation in dollars, but understand we do not deal in dollars. We do deal in Bitcoin only. The daily earnings of the Gold Z plan are $4 to $12 Monday through Friday. If you sponsor someone, meaning really think of yourself as a broker and you're bringing in new investors, and if somebody comes in and you came in with the Gold Z plan, you'd be making a 20% commission instantly, right? The binary system works once you pair your legs. So this is a binary system, meaning you have a right and a left. And let's just, for this example, say you bring in John on your right hand side, and he comes in with 1 Bitcoin, and let's just say it's valued at around $3,000 right now. Well, you would instantly make 20% of that, which would be $600, and you would not make the binary yet because you have not activated your binary, right? Then let's say you bring in Paul on your left side, and he comes in with 1 Bitcoin. Well, then that's when you would activate your binary. You would make the 8% of the $3,000, plus you would get another direct sponsor as well. So in that example, you would actually end up making $240 plus the $1,200 of your direct bonus, so $1,440 you would make, assuming you brought these 2 people in one day, within the next day. The matrix is a 2x2 system matrix. If you're not familiar with that, I'm sure whoever showed you this presentation will explain that a little bit better, but it's just a 2x2. Every single time that you achieve your matrix, you get paid $8 for each person under that matrix. Now the Gold X plan has no daily earnings because this is more designed for somebody that doesn't have the money right now, but they really want to start. They have investors already maybe, and they want to use that 10% to upgrade to the Gold Z plan, for example. And there are many plans. They all work under the same principles. Basically, just the more you invest, the more you make, just like anywhere else. We have the 3.0, the Platinum X, Platinum Y, Platinum Z. And as you can see, everything is very similar, except for you have a much better earnings here. By investing more, obviously you get more in return. We also have higher and bigger plans up to 50 Bitcoin. And again, as you can see here, the daily earnings are a lot higher. Now, it may seem to you that you might not be getting any of these plans, but honestly, we allow people to grow and to reinvest. And so maybe you start off with 1 Bitcoin and you just blow up and you're doing great and you're bringing in people left and right. And next thing you know, you are at the 20 Bitcoin plan. That's the goal, to be making, $80, $240 daily, plus all the binary. And that's when you really start seeing the benefits. Now, I'm sure whoever showed you this video will explain it in more detail. Okay, and that's basically the compensation plan. And just to end with a quote of one of my all-time favorite tech gurus, if you will: the secret of success in business is in detecting where the world will go and get there first. And that's Bill Gates. So thank you very much for watching, and we look forward to working with you guys and having everyone be a part of our team.